Jyotish, a profound, mathematical, sophisticated form of astrology, checking the cosmic weather as a tool to optimize our full potential. Vedic astrology with expert of Jyotish and yoga, Anand Mehrotra. Welcome to the Vital Veda Show. Immerse in a shared experience with me of exploring exciting realms of holistic health and the rich, expansive field of consciousness of which underlies and encompasses everything. It is here that we explore the essence of what health and vitality truly is. Get ready to discover how to enliven your ultimate potential for health and to live the life in a frictionless flow while achieving more. You deserve to feel vitality. As a matter of fact, it is innate within you. Welcome to one of the very early episodes of the Vital Veda Show, one of the first recordings I did, and of course it is with a man straight from the Himalayas. As he arrived in Sydney, we got to interview face to face. That is Anand Mehrotra, a visionary master teacher, community and thought leader, conscious entrepreneur, and of course Jyotishi, which is of course a Vedic astrologer. Anand was born, raised, and still resides in one of my favorite places on planet Earth, Rishikesh, a holy town by the Ganga River at the foothills of the Himalayas in North India. For those who don't know Rishikesh, it's known as the yoga capital of the world. Famously, it's where the Beatles learnt to meditate with my teacher's teacher. A beautiful, beautiful, special place. Anand is the founder and master of Sattva Yoga, a radically holistic, ever-evolving practice that is really growing right now rapidly. He teaches all around the world, gives wisdom talks, hosts gatherings, satsangs, meditation, provides Jyotish readings, leads Sattva Yoga journeys, retreats and trainings, and is doing them now in Australia. And that is where I met him and got to interview him. He leads two non-for-profit organizations, the Kushi Charitable Society and the Sattva Foundation, and has launched several businesses based on sustainable practices and supporting local communities. I really enjoyed getting to know Anand during his visit to Australia in 2017. He channels this blissful charisma which has a real lightness to it. And along with this gentle and softness being, he holds this strong inner fire that expresses this vast and pure knowledge, which he firmly instills into his listeners and students. What inspired me about Anand is some of his teachings are somewhat alternative from traditional Vedic teachings. He doesn't take on the denotative, the literal meaning from the traditional teachings. He rather explores the connotative meaning with a more holistic view. And this is just one example of how broad Anand's spectrum is. Of course it's broad, it's cosmic. He's a Jyotishi, a rishi, a seer, whose view on life really impressed me because it was cosmic yet scientifically blunt. Anyway, I'm excited for you to join me as we dispel dogmas, myths, and inaccurate perceptions about Jyotish, Vedic astrology, and other aspects of the Veda. Anand reveals to us an introduction and a general overview about Jyotish. Couple days, have you?
Yeah.
First time?
First time. It's wonderful. I was in New Zealand 2 years ago for 10 days. So it's a little bit similar, land energy, but still very different.
Have you had a chance to connect with the land yet?
Yeah. I mean that's why I was happy Jeff brought me here because it's quiet and so I could meditate and really feel the land. They're really special. It really is the land is very gentle. It's very ancient, but it's also very, there is no stress in the land. So it's not Like when you land in America, you feel, especially in the coasts, you feel there is an electric buzz there. Here it's not, so it's much more drawing you in.
Yeah.
So you can see that when you walk. Even I was in Sydney, in the city, you see even how the people are walking slower. Than if you were in New York, you will be walking much faster.
Yeah.
Even in Europe, in some places, even in the financial center, the pace was slower. So you can see there is a natural rhythm of the land. It's really wonderful.
Beautiful. The rhythm of the land's resonating even into the cities. And
yeah.
That's good. Okay. So Anand, it is important for all people who pursue the knowledge of Veda to know Jyotish, Vedic astrology. Even Hippocrates said, the great Greek physician said, a physician who doesn't know astrology should not call himself a physician. There is also a Sanskrit shloka which says the Vaidya, the Ayurvedic physician, should know all the sciences, the Jyotish, the economics and more. So Jyotish is so important, and it is a more subtle component of our life. Can you give an overview of what is Jyotish?
Yes, I think I agree with you that I think when you're looking at any knowledge, if you really want to go deep in that knowledge, you have to open up your periphery, you have to open up your vision to include other knowledges. Because if you just isolate this industrialized version of accumulating knowledge is not working. It is fundamentally reductionist. So if you just want to be, learn how to tighten a screw, yes, and having a reductionist knowledge works to isolate. Like that's how our schooling system is designed right now. That the more higher you go, the more reduced your domain of knowledge gets. But when we are speaking of life sciences, when we are speaking of true knowledge in the Vedic yogic tradition, the higher you go, you don't reduce, you expand. You see, it seems counterintuitive to reduce knowledge. So whether you are a meditation teacher or Vedya or you're naturally, it has to expand. So it has to be inclusive, not reductionist. So the yogic Vedantic tradition is an expansive tradition in its essential nature. So it invites every practitioner, teacher, student to expand, not to contract. Now that being said, Jyotish is called the eye of the Veda. Veda is the knowledge of self, the great knowledge of totality. And Jyotish is the light of self, that self which is in time. Of course, there is the Brahma, which is the, you can only realize and experience as a Brahma Sthiti Chetana when you're in that state of consciousness. But our fundamental experience of life is through the individuality. We are that and we are this. Both this and that are not opposing. So Jyotish was developed to help us understand this. So this becomes a greater vehicle of that. And this, when I say this, meaning this individuality, because if you are listening to me, you are listening to me as an individuality. Even when this individuality is in a cosmic state of consciousness, it still has certain level of individuality. It is you who is in cosmic state. Yes? So this jiva is in time. What we call jiva in Sanskrit, individuality. Jiva. So jiva, Jyotish. Similar root. So this is really the study of the movement of jiva within time. For the first expression of existence is space-time. Consciousness, as it starts to reverberate, there is the expression of space-time. And everything that we see, observe and experience is within space-time. Right? So, time is karma. Within time is karma because change is there, memory is there, expectation is there. There is birth, living and dying, all within this time. So Jyotish was developed as a great tool to help us understand this movement of jiva in time and how to be able to utilize our journey in this time-bound expression in the highest manner possible. And it also helps to gain, because our understanding on an intellectual level of time is very primitive. Senses are totally bound in time. So we have calendars and watches and so on and so forth, but they are just tools for meeting, really. That's how our modern understanding of time came from. right? Our calendar just to help people meet, function together. But this is doesn't give us any understanding of how we are flowing in our lifetime. So Jyotish really helps us to understand our flow in time. And that is why when you really go deep within it, you start to realize it is based on the deep understanding of interconnectedness of the whole, that there is no thing, no individual as an island. So when you really begin to go deep, you start to find also different connections you can start to see on a medical level as well. What dasha is there, because you can see as a healer, you can be doing the same treatment for two people, but they will respond differently, right? They don't respond exactly the same.
Yeah.
So when you have this knowledge of Jyotish, it can also help you seeing, okay, what dasha this individual is running, what is their karmic makeup. And then you can start to tune, and it gives you a great understanding as a healer. And as a person, definitely when you understand your own chart, it helps you understand yourself better. It helps you understand your flow in time, so you're not fighting time. Gives you a greater access to be in the flow. Gives you a greater sense of clarity. So Jyotish, that is why we study the moment of your birth and location, and what was the karmic footprint and the energetic footprint. It gives us an insight into the whole of time of your individuality, because time, as we see it on a sensory level, is a consistently persistent illusion. So there is only really eternal now. So in that moment when you have, I like to call it the entry, you have also exited, right, in the cosmic time. Thankfully on a five sensory time we have time in between to play and have experience and evolve. But on a cosmic level, the moment you enter, you have exited. Yes. So it gives you the stroke is stroked on an energetic level. So when you're looking at the chart, you can see that whole. It's incredible what all you can see, and what all it's important to realize that Jyotish is not about destiny or determinism. It is about clarity. It is about understanding. Free will and predeterminism are not opposing forces in Jyotish. They are complementary. So we use the planets and the whole integral, the 12 zodiac signs within the 1227 smaller star signs within the 2708, which is the mala. The 7 planets will become the 7 chakras of the human spine. Rahu and Ketu will become Ida and Pingala. So everything is just the whole solar system, and the stars, everything is right here in the body.
So it's like the cosmic calendar.
Exactly.
It's also the cosmic body. It's connecting our jiva and the individual self to the cosmic
self. Yes, because every jiva is also an expression.
Yes.
It's a certain particular expression of the cosmic self. It's like a banyan tree is an expression of that. The difference between the banyan tree and the individual expressed as a human is the banyan tree will always express itself as a banyan tree. But the human fluctuates a lot.
Okay. And what is the difference between Jyotish and Western astrology?
You see, what is the difference between Western medicine and Ayurveda? So if you are really I would say the Jyotish includes Western astrology and transcends it. In my experience, the Western astrology grew in conflict. It was really never fully accepted by the domain, by the environment in which it was growing. Right? So the religions rejected it, and of course then the industrialized world rejected it. So it got a little bit traumatized, I think. So it did not have full development, like a child. It's traumatized, is not accepted as a young child, doesn't have full development, right? Whereas Jyotish, it was totally, in the Vedic tradition, it was accepted fully. It was not opposed, and it was accepted even by the scientists, so it had a very more full development. So when you study, you see that in the Jyotish there is deeper levels and layers and the timing, which is not there in the West, and they are mostly working with the transit only. The dasha system is not there. The calculation is different. The fundamental calculation is 21 degrees different. So science changed. They don't have nakshatras. They only use the 12 zodiacs. They use the nakshatras. So there is...
Nakshatras are the constellations.
Yes, the constellations within the 12. So there are 27 with us. The lunar calendar is based on the nakshatras, which in the Western chart they don't use. So it has, of course, it has relevance, but it is limited. It is limited. So when you really study Jyotish, you realize it includes everything that is in the West, and then it adds a lot more to it. Yes.
Okay. And you mentioned Rahu and Ketu. So in Jyotish, there's 9 planets, 9 grahas, and then there are these 2.
In Jyotish, actually, there are 7 grahas.
7 grahas.
And the 2 upgrahas, shadow planets, Rahu and Ketu. So it completes the 9. Some Jyotish use Uranus, Neptune and Pluto. I personally don't. The most Jyotish who have studied the ancient manner, they don't use Uranus, Neptune and Pluto. Some modern astrologers use, which have been exposed, they use the Western little bit elements. But otherwise, there is no need for Uranus, Neptune and Pluto. Purely also on a impact level, because you go to the giants are Jupiter and Saturn. If you really look at the structure of our solar system, it is Jupiter and Saturn really which allowed life to happen. Uranus, Neptune are mostly gaseous, right? Planets. The distance between Saturn and Uranus is much more than what is between Saturn and Mercury. It increases exponentially. Pluto is too small, right? It's smaller than a moon, and all the other satellites of Jupiter and Saturn. So it doesn't have the magnetic power to impact. And so already the influence of Saturn and Saturn includes Uranus and Neptune, Mars, similar in that way. So in Jyotish we use only till Saturn, and then we use Rahu and Ketu. That completes 9.
Can you explain this Rahu and Ketu? Because they're invisible.
The Rahu and Ketu are shadow planets, so they are not really planets. They are the points of eclipse, where the eclipses occur. So Rahu is the north lunar node, and Ketu is the south lunar node. So they're called the dragon's head and dragon's tail. Fundamentally, they are one. And so the story is that it was Rahu who was a Chandala, and then the goddess split his head. So cut the head, but because he had realized certain level of realization, so he was immortal. So the head became Rahu, and the tail became Ketu. So Ketu doesn't have the head, Rahu doesn't have the body. So Rahu is very mind, Ketu is very body. Rahu is creative, expansive. Ketu is withdrawing, taking deeper on. Rahu can be hysteria, Rahu can be psychosis. Ketu is more depressive. Ketu can be chronic illnesses. On a higher level, Ketu is liberation, it is inner realization. Rahu is impact, it is expansion, it is self-actualization. So they represent the two sides of the mirror. Rahu is where you moving externally, and Ketu what you need to realize. So, and they have, of course, because they are ultimately related with sun and the moon. So they have a very deep relationship with the sun and the moon in the chart. If they are with the sun and the moon, so the energy of the chart is deeply impacted.
And there's a strong correlation with Rahu and Ketu and snakes.
Yeah, Rahu and Ketu, as I said, dragons. So they are considered snakes, and in certain upayas in the Jyotish, there are many upayas, meaning correcting measures, right? I think in Ayurveda, when you find a certain energy, you want to have a upaya to correct that energy. So Rahu and Ketu, every planet has karakas, as plants, karakas, gemstone, as when I said to you, emerald, that's a karaka, right? An energy, physical expression of that energy.
Yeah.
So snakes are karaka for Rahu and Ketu. Rahu and Ketu, because it's a snake. dragon.
So if people are like dreaming about snakes or coming across a lot of snakes, this can be...
then again, as I said, when we were speaking in the beginning, there is nothing which we cannot reduce anything to just because, there can be many reasons why they are seeing snakes.
Yeah.
That dreams are multiple levels. Some dreams are just gibberish. Maybe the person watched something on TV of snakes, right? There can be astral dreaming, there can be past life records, depending on what they're seeing. Some might be just processing their repressed fears. But yes, it can be, one of the reasons can be that they are in Rahu Ketu energy, and they can be having dreams of Rahu and Ketu, definitely. But also they can be, maybe somebody is having Kundalini experience, and Kundalini is also expressed with Rahu, with the serpents. And it is along the spine, so Rahu Ketu also, when Rahu and Ketu merge, the Sushumna opens, Ida and Pingala. So when the Ida and Pingala are balanced, Sushumna opens, and that's from where Kundalini ascends. So they are also related with, associated with Kundalini Shakti. The balancing and the integration of Rahu and Ketu. Ketu representing past, when you have really healed and established peace with your past, and Rahu where you establish peace with your future. So meaning that you are fearless. And that fearlessness gives rise to Sushumna, which is the rise of Kundalini, your infinite potential. Fearlessness, right? Because it's fear what keeps us from our infinite potential. This hallucination of loss, that we can lose something here. So Rahu and Ketu play on that. When the person is not evolved, they play on your fears, they play on your phobias.
Great. And with the eclipse, it's Rahu and Ketu are causing the eclipse, right? And so during an eclipse, generally in the West, some people like to go and watch it, or maybe have some eclipse party. But in the Vedas, I think it says, close your windows, get inside, be inward.
Yes, what they're saying when they say closed windows is really the windows of your senses. So again, as I said, sometimes we can read something and take it literally. You don't have closed windows, and there's nothing really wrong going on there. It's a possibility, it's an opportunity, because as I said, Rahu and Ketu are your potential of awakening your Kundalini. So when they are active and there's eclipse energy, there is energy is very powerful. So create energy to go inward, to realize, to meditate, to increase your sadhana. That is an optimal use of that energy. So it's not, sometimes it is misunderstood, or that there is something toxic happening. No, there is nothing toxic going on there.
So we're not going to get hurt if we go outside. We're not vulnerable.
That is, again, when you understand the laws of nature, right? So if it's monsoon time, you don't want to plant wheat. Right? If you're trying to plant wheat when it's raining, nothing is wrong. You're trying to you're not in tune with the nature of time. Your nature is asking you to do something else, you're doing something else, and you're wondering what's wrong. So when the energy is inward, energy is drawing, the sun and moon, which are the two light energies, they are in a certain alignment where there is not clarity. So it is powerful energy to go in, because there is a withdrawing energy. So in the Jyotish, not the time to start a business venture. So it's not for that. It's not a creative energy, but it's more of a meditative energy. Of course, you can take any reason to party. Full moon, no
might
moon,
be wasting your energy. You could use your energy better places. And this is similar with new moon, is that right? It's also
new moon is creative.
Time for inward.
Yes, no moon is inward, but new moon. No moon is inward. No moon is meditative. No moon is not there. But new moon.
New moon, you mean full moon? Purnima.
New moon is meaning the first day. After the no moon,
right?
That is the crescent moon. The crescent moon is the beginning. So that is Ashlesha moon. So meaning the Ashlesha nakshatra moon. And so spark is there. So new beginning. So that's depending again, waning and waxing. So I'm talking about increasing moon. So the new moon there is auspicious for new beginnings. It is auspicious for starting new ventures or treatment or healing.
And then the full moon, the Purnima?
Full moon is very powerful for healing, powerful for self-healing, powerful for new, depending also on the nakshatras. You have to see what nakshatra, what is the association with moon is with which planet. So you have to take the whole picture, whole thing into the picture. But if you just have to deal, we are speaking of the moon. Yes, full moon is a powerful time to start new things. It is a powerful time for healing. It is a powerful time for gathering and collectively raising the energy together. It's a powerful time for community.
A lot of people ask, they feel this energy of the full moon, and they ask me, like, what can I do? They want to do some ritual, or they want to...
Yeah, I mean, working with the elements is a great time on full moons, because you feel the moon because you are water. I mean, the moon is... The ocean moves with the moon. Most of our body is water. So, of course, you will feel... If you're slightly intuitive, you'll feel... I mean, it's a statistical fact. More, if you talk to the cops, they will tell you. There are more cops on the street on full moon than any other night. Emergency services, people who work on the floor of emergency in the hospital, they say there is more visits. The emotional body is pulled. Moon is the karaka of emotion in the Jyotish, right? It rules our emotion. So it is powerful to be emotion. So it's a feminine energy is moving. So the full moon is great. That's why I said community is great, because feminine coming together, kirtan, chanting. So using active meditation, dynamic meditation, doing agnihotras, fire ceremonies, so it's working with the elements. So when we're saying rituals are working with the elements. So any ritual which is including using elements, pujas, ceremonies, is very powerful on the full moon.
Beautiful. Okay. And a lot of people I've seen, especially long-term meditators and things, they get caught up about their Jyotish, and they're very bound to it, and they're checking the cosmic weather every day, and today is this, I can only do this, and I don't want to do this because I'm in this period. So, I mean,
I don't know.
The question on that is how much can we transcend our chart? And
first of all, I've not really met the meditators who get tied up to that, because if you're a meditator, naturally your intelligence has to increase. So that attitude is not very... doesn't mean then you're thinking you're meditating, you're not really meditating. The meditation is not working. Right? So because that is not the attitude of Jyotish. It is, because Jyotish is not sphere-based. Ultimately, Jyotish and you are one. So we check the charts, definitely. When you know the signs, you check the chart. Maybe the way they speak of it might be confusing, and but really that's not getting tied up. It is not the Jyotish. The deeper you understand Jyotish, the freer you will get. Right? You will get more in alignment with the flow of time. So when it is raining outside, you don't want to get wet, you take the umbrella. Right? When it is monsoon time, before monsoon, you plant rice. Yes, so you just become more and more in tune with the flow of time. Now, using it as anyone can use any Ayurveda also, right? I can't eat that, I can't eat that, I can't eat this. There are people who can be tied up to that. Yes, they are always thinking about food. Then, so it's not a sign of health. If we are always talking about food, whether you're talking about unhealthy food or healthy food, doesn't matter. You're talking a lot about food. So there is something amiss there. So it can be with any science, whether you take Ayurveda, you take meditation, you take yoga, you can physics, doesn't matter. It's physicists who came up with fracking. So big Hummers and all these parts which are really not necessary. So that human being can take any science, any knowledge and use it in that way. But the Jyotish, the purpose of Jyotish is to help you transcend. Help you transcend, expand, not get limited. On the level of your flow of time, obviously it's very helpful for you, as I said before, to get in touch with the natural flow of time. What nature is asking you to do, you do that. That is the law of effortless ease. That's the effortless life. When you are against the laws of nature, then you have to struggle. And all that struggle is in vain. You're struggling against nature. So it's not the struggle that is making you win, because there is this whole thing, you must struggle. It's really not the... What is the struggle is just you're waiting till when the time becomes right and it happens. So you don't have to struggle. Hard work is a different thing. You work hard, yes. If you have to make the field ready, you work hard. But it's just really, it's not a struggle. Struggle is a different thing. So struggling is you fighting the universe. Hard work is you, sometimes your body's resistance, your mind is resistant to do something the universe is asking you to do, and you do it and you call it hard work. That's okay. It's a different thing. But struggle is not necessary.
Yeah.
So with Jyotish, it helps you let go of the struggle, be more in tune with the time. And in your own personal karmic journey, you transcend, you expand. Because there is spectrum. There are certain things when you see which are okay. There is karma which you cannot change. Like, where you were born, you were born there. There is nothing much to be done about it. But you can change, obviously, what is your drawing from it, how it is feeding you. When you start to see, the more you go deeper, the greater the possibilities open. In Jyotish, it's not a limiting science. At least that's not how I see it. A lot of astrologers do see it like that, but ultimately all science is subjective.
So a lot of people are like, say, I'm in this period, in a harsh period and rough, and they get constricted, but you're saying there's a much bigger spectrum and there's always so much more to see from that.
Absolutely. You see, it's like if you're looking at Ayurveda and you're saying, I have this disease and this is what I have, then you're identified with the disease. You're not the disease. You are the infinite nature of being. That's who you are. And you're expressing yourself through a body, and that body in its particular expression has that issue. The body has that issue. And even when you see, there is 99% of the body which is totally fine.
Exactly.
It's very slight portion which is not fine. But if you make your identity that, then you're claiming to the universe that that's who I am.
Yes.
So that is why we have to have a holistic understanding.
Yeah, wonderful. And can we just go briefly through each planet and...
But I can speak like the deity expression of them, right? So Shani is Shiva.
Saturn.
Saturn is Shiva. And when you start understanding Shiva, tuning into, you understand.
Yes.
Jupiter is Ganesha. So if you see the beginning of anything, Ganesha is invoked. Jupiter. On the physical body, it's your second chakra. Saturn is your Muladhara chakra, seat of infinite potential, Kundalini, fear. Second chakra is desire, relation. So Jupiter is that, golden energy. When you look at Jupiter, it's 2.5 times bigger than all the planets of our solar system put together. It radiates twice the amount of energy than it receives from the sun. So it's almost sun. If Jupiter grew any bigger, it would be sun. So that's Ganesha. It's a big guy. Yes, it's almost sun. Ganesha is always pictured golden, Saturn blue, Shiva more withdrawn, living in the mountains alone. Ganesha with people, smiling, eating the dessert. Shiva with snakes, his son with dessert. It's a big contrast. The desert, the human beings are seeking desert at their second chakra. Pleasure. Yes, that's Ganesha. The main of Ganesha is pleasure. Playfulness. Saturn is fearlessness. Exploring the great unknown. Taking in the poison, turning it into nectar. Realizing no right or wrong is there in life. Beyond morality, beyond societal structures. Naval center, the warrior. Mars, the red planet. Hanumana, and also Kartikeya.
The son of Shiva.
Yes, Kartikeya is the significator of Mars. And in some tradition also Hanumana is considered significator of Mars. Vitality, Pavanaputra. Yes, vitality. Hanumana is full of vitality, leaping across. So Mars is vitality. In Ayurveda, that's the center of disease. This weak navel center. That's where your Rama start to build. So when you have a strong Mars, strong Agni in the fire, then you're full of vitality. So Hanumana is, you never get sick. He's full of vitality, strongest of the strong. In Ramayana, even though the hero is Rama and Lakshmana, Rama is the main protagonist, but the strongest one in the Ramayana is Hanumana. It is he who is the superman. Right? Rama is mortal there. Hanumana is the super being. So that's Mars. Heart is Venus. The brightest planet in the sky. Twilight star. 6 months in the east, 6 months in the west. Before we had Gregorian calendar in the west, they used Venusian calendar, so the year was 6 months long, based on Venus, the movement of Venus. The deity Venus is Lakshmi, goddess of beauty. In all traditions, even in the Greek, Venus was not the god of war, the goddess of beauty, arts, love, Venus. So Lakshmi and also Krishna. Throat center is Mercury, Saraswati, and also Buddha. Because the name for Mercury in Sanskrit is Buddhi. Buddha. The name for intellect, the mind, is Buddhi. When you go to the transcendental knowledge, beyond Buddhi, beyond your intellect, you become Buddha, the all-knowing one. Saraswati, she is the goddess of wisdom. Veda. Veda is starting where? The word. Conceptual knowledge. The beginning of word is the beginning of concept. Is it in? All Veda is conceptual knowledge. Conceptual meaning that we are limiting the unknowable through words. When we say Brahmasmi, now it's a conceptual knowledge. You can make a sticker out of it. I saw in America they made the sticker in the car of Mahavakyas. Yes?
It's totality being born into
exactly.
reality.
So it's through the word.
Yeah.
So Saraswati sits here. So the mantra-based meditation is using that power of the word. Third eye, sun and the moon together, two petals of the lotus. Shiva and Shakti, meeting point of Veda and Pingala, so all meet there. Top of the head is no planet anymore. You are beyond this ocean of samsara, so you are in the world but not of it. And Rahu and Ketu, as I said before, are Ida and Pingala. And they present the air nature and earth nature in that manner. So to speak of the planets will take.
Yes.
I won't feel. I will feel that I'm disrespecting these energies.
It's a beautiful way to speak about them. It's much more, and it's more complete.
Yes.
It gives a better idea. So when you get to the top of the head, the crown of the head, that's transcending all the planets, is it?
Yeah, meaning transcending is planets, meaning as long as you are in the body, you are part of the reality, right? So it's just that your realization, you're not bound by your karma. Now you are more in the dharma fully in dharma.
Yeah.
So there is no more karma left. You are karma rahita, or jivana mukta, liberated from the burden of living. So when we call jivana mukta, a lot of time people misunderstand that nirvana is, I'm not going to come back. That's not what it means. What it means is that the compulsion is not there. The compulsion to come back is not there. You're free. There's nothing, it's not so terrible to be here. To be in a human body is quite magnificent. You might choose to be here. A lot of times this confusion is there. Like Jivan Mukta, this is my last life, I will never come back. Yeah? That's not what it means. What it means is that you are freed from the burden of life. Because human beings, we want to live. Yet, we find life very burdensome. It's a strange dilemma. Isn't it?
Yes.
We want to live. Yet we find it very burdensome to live. So Jivan Mukta is free from the burden of living. That's crown. Exploring the full potential of being.
And one other thing I want to talk about is there's a period in Jyotish called Sati Sat, which is
Sade Sati.
Sati Sati. And it's, as you said earlier, it's a dogma and people condemning it. And people are scared of it and they fear and they blame their problems that they're in this period.
Sade Sati, first of all, what Sade Sati means? Sade Sati means 7.5 years. Sade Sat. Sat is 7, Sade Sat is 7.5. What is 7.5? Saturn stays in one sign for 2.5 years. So 2.5, Sade Sat. 7.5 year transit of Saturn over the moon. So when the Saturn arrives one house before your natal moon, on your natal moon, after your natal moon, this is called
natal moon,
meaning where you were born.
Yeah.
What was your moon sign?
Sure.
The 7.5 year transit.
So when the first one is when you were born, and then 2 after that.
No, after when you were born, you don't have Saraswati. So on. When the Saturn will transit, it will return before your natal moon. Let's say your moon sign is Sagittarius right now. So you've been in Saraswati now, depending on what degree, anywhere from 1 year to 3 years, depending on the degree. Because Saturn is in Sagittarius now. It was in Scorpio before that. So if your Saturn is in your moon is in Sagittarius, Shiva, you've been in Saraswati. So Saraswati means Saturn is influencing your moon. Now Saturn is Shiva, is the greatest teacher. Teacher through experience. It's a challenging teacher. Challenges you. Challenges you to do what? To come to truth. So when we say we have problems, we are lying.
It's being challenged.
What is a problem? We have problems, show me where it is. People say, I have a problem. Like you have, what is, where is it? You have kept it somewhere in a safe. Where is the problem? I have a problem. You show me. It is where it is. It's in your head. It's just life. It's a problem. There's no problem. There is only the way. It is your obsession with a certain situation which creates a problem. There is only the way. The rocks on the path of the river are not the problem. They are the way. Is it not? If there was no rocks, there would be the way of the river. So the boulders are the way. So there is confusion. It's just coming from, again, dogma, our own obsession with problem, negative mind, looking at life as a big problem, as I was saying before.
Yes.
We want to live, yet we look at life fundamentally as a problem. We are educated like that, our parents condition like that you have to be terrified of life. Human beings are terrified of life. So anything which comes outside of their preference box, anything which challenges them, we are afraid of it, and we start to label it wrong, bad, all of this, and we get trapped into this vicious circle, you see, and then we keep creating it over and over again. Saraswati is a powerful event, yes, powerful energy. Can it create challenges? Absolutely. But the purpose of the challenge, what you must ask is, what is the purpose? The purpose is for you to evolve, for you to grow. And if you really follow that purpose, has it not happened? That, let's say, something happened in your life and in that moment it seemed, oh my God, so terrible. But you really did grow. And then you look back and then you naturally have to feel thankful for it. Say, oh, thankful for that challenge. If you grew. If you did not grow, then that victim story continues. If the only thing that happened was time, and it's just the time that took you out of that location, then you look back and you just feel terrible about that. But if it was not the time that took you out, it was your own consciousness. You grew, you expanded, then you look back at that event which you felt challenging or what you called bad, you feel thankful for it. That is a clear symptom that you grew. Is it not? So if you grow, then Saraswati becomes a great catalyst for your growth, for your expansion. That is Shiva. Shiva wants you to expand, wants you to let go of the lies, of the false that you are holding on to. It challenges your body identity, challenges your relationship identity, your work identity. At the same time, it opens up doorway for you to find your truer purpose, your truer self, truer meaning. So if you are in alignment with your deeper self, then Saraswati will take you deeper into your spirit. So, if you are this whole thing of fear of Saturn, it is misunderstanding, it's this incomplete understanding. Full spectrum approach of Jyotish, of any science, is not fear. It's about true understanding, energy. Otherwise, the whole science gets reduced to a dogma. Saraswati is definitely, it's an impact. It will fundamentally change you, definitely. The energy of change is there. How, what, that is up to you. You know, as you understand it deeper, you can utilize this energy in a much more fluid manner. You can understand which experience is part of the journey which you can really do without. There are certain experiences you have to accept. There are things you can change, and there are some things you can't. Things you can change, you must change fully. Things you can't change, you must accept fully. Anything else is insanity. Human beings are trying to change things which they need to accept. And they are accepting things which they need to change. And then they wonder what's wrong. Yes, so Saraswati, we have to get our perspective clear and straight. So we know what we need to accept and what we need to change.
And last thing, can you talk about gemstones and how they influence?
In Jyotish, there is upayas. Upayas meaning corrective measures. So, havanas, there is one of them, herbs, And
Bhavana is the yagya, this fire.
Bhavana, yes, it's the yagyas,
Yeah.
yes. And then there is gemstones, crystals. Before they are in the womb of the earth, so it's like taking, if you need vitamin B, you can take vitamin B supplement. Yes. You need vitamin D, you need to go and stand in the sun. Yeah, if you're just too much inside, you start not having enough vitamin D, you can go into depression. So you need to go and stand in the sun. So you need iron, you need apple, spinach. Right? So that is already there in the body. So when you're adding spinach, it's not like something alien being added, it's already there. What is, I think this iron is going and activating the iron which is already in the body. And now you have optimal level of iron. Lack of iron, anemia. Issues with blood. Same thing with gemstones. They are like a supplement of energy. So there's certain energy which is already in you. It might be not functioning in its optimal manner, or you can use more of that energy. Like ashwagandha, you have weak feeling, lack of vitality, you take ashwagandha, provided you're not high pitta. You take ashwagandha, it helps you in vitality, it builds your immune system. Yes? Same with gemstones, depending on what your particular energy is, lagna is. Different gemstones work for different planets. They contain, if you look at, like, for example, the gemstone for sun is ruby. If you look at ruby, you can feel the heat if you're intuitive, you know. If you are really just going from an intuitive state, you just hold the ruby in your hand, you will feel the heat, that brilliant red. You talk about gemstone for Mercury is emerald. It's the soft, very fragile. Mercury is a very soft planet. It's irregular. It's not consistent in its directionality. The gemstone for Jupiter is yellow sapphire. So when you look at Jupiter, it's gold because it's almost sun, so it radiates golden glow. And the gemstone for Jupiter is yellow sapphire. It's that similar thing. Pearl is for the moon, coming from the ocean. Or moonstone. Look at the moonstone, it looks like the moon. So it adds to that energy to your body. So again, not like a magic thing. If you're lacking certain energy, you add that energy. You take lacking certain vitamin, you add that vitamin. But just to think that will fix you, it's not. Right? You have to change your life mindset. It's a lifestyle, but it's like a supplement which can help you in your overall energy and your movement.
Like increases like.
Exactly.
So in Ayurveda, when you increase the Vata, you add the Vata, building things and. Okay, wonderful. I think that's it. And if people want to learn more about you, about your teachings, whether it's Jyotish or your Sattva Yoga,
and they can just go on sattvayogaacademy.com
and you can go to Rishikesh. Anand hosts a lot of retreats and all around the world, actually.
All around the world, but the main center is in Rishikesh. I'm there 6-7 months in the year. Then 5 months I'm traveling. But come to Sattva.
This podcast was brought to you by vitalveda.com.au. If you are loving this conversation around the Veda, the knowledge governing the unity of the laws of nature, human consciousness, and multidimensional health, head over to the Vital Veda website and subscribe to our newsletter to not miss a fresh episode. Also subscribe to the podcast. Feel free to leave a review. I love reading them, and a rating, even a few words, add to the joy of it all. I want you to interact with myself. Head over to Vital Veda Facebook, Instagram, website. Come visit me in Sydney, wherever I am on the planet. It's a pleasure as always, and I will be back with more interviews and chats soon. Until then, stay vital and radiate life for all to enjoy.